It gives me great pleasure to welcome our fraternal delegate, Mr Vernon Coker MP, Shadow Secretary of State for Northern Ireland. I must apologise to him in the first instance that we're a bit late starting, but we used some of that time to discuss league football, which I must say I enjoyed immensely. so you have the floor, Vernon, and you're most welcome.
Chair, thank you very much indeed. It's certainly a huge honour and indeed a privilege to be here representing my party, the British Labour Party, at the centenary conference of your party, the Irish Labour Party. I want to thank your leader, the Taoiseach Eamon Gilmore, and your General Secretary, Ita McAuliffe, and we wish her well for their kind invitation. And I carry with me the best wishes of my party leader, Ed Miliband, and colleagues from throughout the Labour Party and the trade union movement to all of you. In the 100 years of your existence, you have provided inspiration to democratic socialist parties across the world. And nowhere is your influence felt more than in my party and the trade union movement in Britain. What Edinburgh and Liverpool gave you in Connolly and Larkin has been repaid in many more cities in Britain so many times over. And that such a large number of my colleagues in the Parliamentary Labour Party have Irish backgrounds is a testament to that. Indeed, in my own constituency of Gedling in Nottingham, the chair of the Labour Party is Seamus Creamer, a Tipperary man. The ties between Britain and Ireland are bonds of people, places and history. Our shared past is complicated, intense, and has often been marred by conflict and division. But in this year, the 100th anniversary of the Irish Labour Party, the third Home Rule Bill and the Ulster Covenant, the relationship is transformed. We stand shoulder to shoulder now as friends and neighbours, and the special link between our countries has deepened and widened and developed as we both strive for a fairer, more equal and more just society, where opportunity is available to all regardless of background, gender, ethnicity or sexuality. And what has happened in Northern Ireland is an example of that. We in the Labour Party will speak up for the peace and progress, as the party who in government helped with many others, including in this hall, to bring about the Good Friday Agreement and all that flowed from it. And we will stand up for fairness in tough times. We will hold the UK government to the promises that were made to help deliver a real peace dividend for Northern Ireland. Because whilst indeed there has been much progress made, we must make sure that the political focus does not prematurely move on. We need to continue working together on Northern Ireland in a way that is appropriate to the devolved settlement. And while applauding the continuing progress, we still need to understand the threat which remains and recognise the special circumstances that exist. We all know that the people of Northern Ireland and their representatives, including our friends and sister party, the SDLP, are still wrestling with the consequences of the past as they move forward. And this is no time for us to fail to give them a priority that they both demand and deserve. For my part, working on behalf of the British Labour Party, I will try my very best to meet the challenges of supporting the peace process, standing up for Northern Ireland and helping to build the future and prosperity its people deserve. But what Britain and Ireland also share are values. The values of Irish people and the Irish in Britain are Labour's values too. The importance of fairness, family, looking out for each other, working together, pride in identity, pride in community, and pride at playing a part in doing your bit to make society better. Your President, Michael D. Higgins, visited Britain during his campaign for election, and many members of my party were involved in helping him win his historic victory. I'm delighted that he has appointed one of my party colleagues, Sally Mulready, to the Council of State in Ireland, another example of the close connections between our two countries. In my own city of Nottingham, just a few weeks ago, I saw those values on display in the Market Square for the St Patrick's Day parade. The hurlers, footballers, dancers and musicians. It was even more than just a celebration of culture. It was a celebration of community and the pillars of strength which bind communities together. And again, when I visited Dublin last month for the first time as Shadow Secretary of State for Northern Ireland, I saw those values being lived when I visited Croke Park. What a wonderful organisation the Gaelic Athletic Association is. The basic concept of giving to others freely what was given to you, rooted in the communities across Ireland and providing, inspiring and creating in equal measure. And these are difficult times in which to live out these values. But as Labour people, we aren't averse to hard work, and we're not afraid to assert these values and stand up for them with the pride in what we believe. And we in the Labour Party in Britain have a tough job to do to get back in government. And although I'm sure you'd agree that being in government isn't easy, I think the hardest thing we need to do, to work on, is getting into government at the same time. This hasn't proved easy in the first 100 years of our party's existence, so let's try to make it happen a bit more often over the next 100 years. So can I finish by thanking you again for your friendship, your comradeship, and for what you, the Irish Labour Party, have done and are doing for your country. You, the members, young and old, men and women from all backgrounds and all walks of life, led by Eamon Gilmore, are an example and indeed an inspiration to us all in the Labour Party in Britain. And I hope our two parties will, like our two countries, deepen and develop our special bond in the years ahead. By doing so, we can build that better, fairer future that is our common goal. And can I finish by thanking you again for the privilege of speaking to you all here at your 100th centenary conference. It's a great honour for me and a real privilege for me, and I thank you very much and wish you well for the rest of the conference.